Hello everyone, Donkey Storm here, and as the sun sets on yet another WoW expansion and we say goodbye to Battle for Azeroth and wait for the arrival of Shadowlands, it's that time again, the dreaded lull in content between expansions. But fear not, friendos, because there is still plenty to do in the World of Warcraft. Here's 10 tips on how to spend your time as you prepare for Shadowlands. Number 1. Level and alt. With a massive 100% experience buff coming from the Winds of Wisdom event that will last all the way until the Shadowlands pre-patch, there's probably never been a more lucrative time to level up some of your tunes to 120. Not to mention that we finally got the Essence catch-up mechanic we wanted for all of BFA. Using Winds of Wisdom and some heirlooms, you can get alts to 120, somewhere in the neighborhood of 24 hours played, pretty easily. You might even consider starting an alt on the opposing faction to get an idea of how their story pans out. I find playing through the old content to be a fun trip down memory lane, so maybe think about taking a different leveling path and hitting up some new zones this time around. You could even check out my 1 to 120 leveling guide or my fresh 120 gearing guide right here on this very channel. Who knows? One of these guys could end up being your main someday, which brings us to our next topic. Number 2. Try a new class and spec. Once you've got some alts leveled up, how about playing them? Having mained a rogue all expansion, I've had a blast relearning how to play a Resto Druid, doing some lower level keys and raids. I'm even considering switching to Druid in Shadowlands, so who knows? Maybe you'll come across something you never knew you'd really enjoy. It's not all that bad getting your characters geared up at the moment either, so you don't need to be stuck at low end content for too long if you're motivated to gear up. Even if you're 100% locked in on a main and have no intention of changing, it's fun to try something new, and doing so will give you a better understanding of that class if you group with them, or PvP against them, in the future. Number 3. Buy a Brutosaur. Okay, so hear me out, I know it's 5 million gold, but it's already been announced that the mighty Caravan Brutosaur will only be available on the black market auction house after Shadowlands is released. So if you like playing the auction house, or just farming a boatload of gold, then this might be a great time to put your skills to the test. There's even a website that's been created to help you calculate what you would need to do each day to earn 5 million gold. I'll link it in the description. As intimidating as this sounds, it would be awesome to have an auction house wherever you go, and this mount is definitely a huge status symbol in the game. Hey, if you're a real Mr. Moneybags IRL, it's been calculated that you could just buy the mount using WoW tokens for somewhere in the range of $500. So, whatever floats your boat, I guess. Number 4. Push Mythic Plus keys. Mythic Plus isn't going anywhere, and it's some of the most rewarding content in the game. It gives great gear and currency rewards and really pushes you to learn the limits of your character in a way that even raiding doesn't do, in my opinion. Bonus points if you can get a few buddies to run these with you because it will make them a lot more enjoyable. So if you've been a Monday night, not worried about the timer, Mythic Plus player for the last few months, maybe it's time to push yourself a bit. You'll become a better player, and that is something that will absolutely carry over into Shadowlands. Number 5. Level up your UI. I don't know about you, but once I get a character's UI set up for the first time, it can be ages before I update it or look to make any improvements. I recently overhauled some of my character's UIs, and it really made playing them feel a lot more fluid, enjoyable, and fresh. What better time to do some research on your class and give some new add-ons a try, or at least dive into the settings of the ones you're already using and see if you can squeeze some more value out of them. Check out some of your favorite YouTubers or Twitch streamers to get some ideas on how to improve your UI, but always remember that what works for one person may not work for another, and that your UI should be designed to help you play the game better. Number 6. Transmog. This is one of my favorites. From the mythiciest raider to the scrubbiest noob, all of our BFA gear is going to be vendor food about halfway through the first Shadowlands zone. So how will you assert your superiority among the other nooblets as you level? Looking good, of course, that's how. Still don't have your Blackwing layer set completed? Haven't had time to put that Mythic Antorus group together? Well, now's the time, because a new expansion can take our purples, but they can't take away our style points. Number 7. Mount and achievement hunting. Here's a fun game. Press Shift P and go to mounts. Then filter by not collected. Now tell me there isn't something in there that you want. What better time to tie up some of these odds and ends than in between expansion when your character is super powerful in comparison to all previous content. I'm even going to help you get started by leaving some links to a couple YouTube videos about easily farmable mounts because I like you and I want you to be happy. You can take this as far as you want. The mounts you see me picking up in this video are extremely easy to get, but some mounts and achievements require a real-time investment to complete. And of course, don't forget to try and pick up your Ahead of the Curve achievement before the expansion ends to get your Uncorrupted Voidwing, as that is content that will be going away upon the release of Shadowlands. Number 8. Do some PvP. A lot of WoW players classify themselves as non-PvPers, but that's a pretty huge aspect of the game you're leaving out. Similar to Mythic Plus, learning to PvP really helps you learn how to play your class, especially all of the utility your class brings to the table. There's some pretty cool rewards you can earn for yourself as well, such as mounts, titles, and PvP set appearances. This is definitely another one of those activities that is a lot more fun if you can convince some friends to come along, whether you want to push yourselves in arenas or just stomp some battlegrounds. Number 9. Read a book? Wait, what? Perhaps you're a normal person who strives to become a WoW lore nerd like myself. If so, the Shadowlands novel, Shadows Rising, is slated to be released July 14th, so consider picking it up to learn about some of the lore behind Shadowlands and the events that occur between Shadowlands and BFA. If you like the sound of that, there's a lot of other pretty decent WoW novels as well that can help you learn about the lore behind the game. Some of my personal favorites are Arthas, Rise of the Lich King, the War of the Ancients trilogy, and the Rise of the Horde. Number 10. Do some research. Okay, another not in-game item, but I'd say this is pretty important to getting ready for Shadowlands. There's a lot of information trickling out about Shadowlands, such as the zones, dungeons, class changes, Torghast, the Tower of the Damned, the level squish, and more. Reading or watching content on these changes can really help you make informed decisions about what you want to do or what class and spec you want to play when the game is released. That way when the expansion is finally released, you'll already have a head start on things as other people struggle to figure it out. So don't be bummed out that there aren't any new raids or zones coming our way until Shadowlands is released. Instead, think of this as a time to tie up loose ends and walk into Shadowlands as a fully prepared, amazingly transmogged badass on a Brutosaur. I hope these tips motivated you to stick around for the end of BFA and perhaps try something new. If there's something good that you feel I left out, please let me know in the comments section so I can add it to a future video. And if you enjoyed this content and would like to see more, please do me a big favor and like and subscribe to my channel. This has been Donkey Storm, and enjoy your time in the World of Warcraft.